sideways, holding tight, praying hard through every fight. Got no wins, but I got pride. Made it through the other side. Yellow flags like warning signs, but I ain't falling for their lines. Got nerves of steel, a shaky hand. This ain't a game, it's fight or land. Saw that 18 catch the wall, 21 spun, took out them all. But somehow I found the lane, like Moses through that fire and rain. Yeah, I thread the needle, dodge the flame, every pileup calling my name. Wrecks behind me, wrecks ahead, but I ain't wrecked, I ain't dead. Sliding sideways, holding tight, praying hard through every fight. Got no wins, but I got pride. Made it through the other side. No checkered flag, no champagne rain, but I kept it clean through the carnage and pain. One more lap, one more breath, a dance with danger, a race with death. Still I thread the needle, feel the flame. Every turn's a twist of fate's game. Wrecks behind me, wrecks ahead, but I ain't wrecked, I ain't dead. Sliding sideways, holding tight, out of chaos into light. No first place, but man, I ride with fire still burning inside. Yeah, I thread the needle in this wild racing ride. Strapped in tight, green lights flashing, rubbers burning, hearts are clashing, tires screaming that southern heat. 200 strong on the NASCAR beat. Lap 5 wreck on turn 4. Smoke so thick can't see the door, but somehow I slip right through like a ghost in red, white, and blue. 'Cause I thread the needle, dodge the flame, every pileup calling my name. Wrecks behind me, wrecks ahead, but I ain't wrecked, I ain't dead. Sliding sideways, holding tight, praying hard through every fight. Got no wins, but I got pride. Made it through the other side. Yellow flags like warning signs, but I ain't falling for their lines. Got nerves of steel, a shaky hand. This ain't a game, it's fight or land. Saw that 18 catch the wall, 21 spun, took out them all. But somehow I found the lane, like Moses through that fire and rain. Yeah, I thread the needle, dodge the flame, every pileup calling my name. Wrecks behind me, wrecks ahead, but I ain't wrecked, I ain't dead. Sliding sideways, holding tight, praying hard through every fight. Got no wins, but I got pride. Made it through the other side. No checkered flag, no champagne rain, but I kept it clean through the carnage and pain. One more lap, one more breath, a dance with.
Good evening, race fans, and welcome to Racers Elite Network. Thursday night, the Next Gen Cup Series, live from the Auto Club Speedway. I'm going to be your host tonight. I go by the name of Brandon Maston. Up in the booth alongside me is the legendary Russell Martin Jr. Russ, how we doing tonight?
Oh man, I'm excited to be back. We're at a track that kind of kind of hits the feels a little bit because, it's one of those tracks that we come to that we can no longer go to in real life. We're here at Auto Club Speedway tonight for another round of the Racers Elite Cup Series, and man, I can't wait to get this race underway.
Yeah, I can't either, as I think this is going to be a high, wide, dominant style race. I got a feeling that the high side of 1 and 2 is going to be the way to go. The lower side, middle, high line, and 3 and 4, I think they're going to be spread out just about everywhere. We do have what shows to be 17 cars signed in tonight. Of them, we have returning race winner Zach Lockett, last week's winner, our first two-time winner on the season, Russ, and he's in what I would call playoff form right out of the gate here.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, he missed Watkins Glen, so technically, looking for a three-peat in the times that he's been here. Like you said, the only two-time winner here so far this season. Got to make it through the rest of this season without missing a race to be chase eligible. But yeah, right now, I mean, he's locked in Lockett, and he's ready to get the playoffs underway. When
I take a look at the top of the speed charts right now, you mentioned Watkins Glen. Our Watkins Glen race winner, Troy Thomas, sets atop the speed charts in qualifying. I'm going to take a look at tonight's race info, Russ, and tonight it's going to be 67 degrees, relative humidity at 83%, partly cloudy skies. But one thing that catches my eye, and we talked about this a little bit in pre-race, is that cooler 69-degree track temp, and I think these cars are going to be locked to the racetrack.
Oh yeah, I mean, it's something you don't usually see out here in the California area is cool track temperatures like this. So I mean, lower track temp, just a little bit sub 70 degrees. So there's gonna be a lot of grip out there, and these cars are gonna be planted pretty well to the track.
Yeah, and one thing that we know is when we get planted race cars, we should have a pretty decent race. I'm excited about tonight. I think we can, the 2 miler here at Auto Club, Russ, is one of those races to where it's very draft dependent. Aero is a very big thing in this race car when it comes to the next gen. Multiple grooves here at Auto Club. We've seen, what was it, 4 different winners in 5 races. I think tonight could be one of those nights that we could see a 5th different winner.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, this is one of those tracks that, it could kind of be tough to pass because, like you said, it's very, very draft dependent, but you also get a lot of aero block too. So it's one of them things of, you kind of got to be where they're not. So I think, like I said, this 2 mile track, nice cool track temp. I'm under the impression we're going to have some long green flag runs here tonight if we don't go flag to flag. I'm really anticipating a long stretch of green flag runs, green flag pit stops. It's going to be a lot of fun out here at Auto Club tonight.
Yeah, I think we're going to go flag to flag. I do agree with that. We're due for a, pretty much a flag to flag style race. We haven't had one of those here in a couple weeks, and Racers Elite's notorious for that, right? We're notorious for going flag to flag, and so I got a feeling that tonight very well could be that type of night. As you can see, Alex Teff right there on the screen, and my man just logged in and trying to get them tires up under him. I don't know how he does it, Russ, talking about Alex, but never do we see him practice. He just logs in, goes, and then finds a way to find speed. I don't know how he does it.
I haven't quite figured that out either. I mean, we never see him log in any sooner than about halfway through practice or through qualifying. And yeah, he just brings that car out here, and whether he qualifies up front, whether he qualifies in the back, he knows he's got the time to get it done, and he'll figure it out by the end of the race and somehow find himself in contention.
He does somehow find himself in contention. I'm going to see if I can't get points saved here. And we'll get them jewels popped up on the screen. And when we take a look at the points, you can see right there, Andrew Teff still atop the leaderboard. You got Troy Thomas, Curtis Ecker, Wayne Scott, Puffenbarger, Truth Hoke, Dennis Kane, Kinsley Smith, David Davis, Alex Teff, Richard Odie, and then Zach Lockett. Zach, only with the 3 starts. So that's, I tell you, of those drivers, Russ, I think the driver of the 15, Kinsley Smith, is looking for kind of a turnaround night.
Yeah, I think so too. I mean, we've seen him kind of struggle here the last couple of weeks. He's we know he's always fast anywhere he goes. So definitely somebody looking for a little bit of redemption, I guess you can say. But I mean, what else could you say about the top two starters here, Troy Thomas and Zach Lockett? Zach again showing speed. Troy, I mean, great qualifying effort by him, putting this thing on the pole in that number 88 Mountain Dew race car out there. So great job by the top two qualifying on the front row here.
And I think I have the paint schemes right for tonight. I think.
By looking at Zach's car, I believe you are right, because okay. I know that car is the one that I'm seeing on my screen, so we are good.
I thought I had it right. Let's get into tonight's starting grid. Much like you said, Russ, on pole is going to be the driver, the number 88, our Watkins Glen winner, Troy Thomas. Outside him, two-time winner on the season, Zach the Rocket Lockett. Starting third, going to be the driver of the number 55, Truth Hoke. Starting fourth, driver of the number 8, going to be Curtis Ecker. Starting fifth, driver of the number 3 is going to be William Skinner. Starting sixth, driver of the number 92, Timothy Eisburn. Starting seventh, driver of the number 98, Andrew Teft. Starting eighth, going to be the driver of the number 4, going to be Dennis Kane. Starting ninth, driver of the number 50, Kerry Fennell. Going to be starting 10th, the driver of the 28 machine tonight is going to be Barry Nelson.
Running back there in P11 is going to be the 24, Joshua Norton. P12 is going to be the number 10, Kirby Wainscott. Jesse Fox in the 69 is going to roll off 13th, and he's going to be the last one to lay a qualifying lap here, as Brandon Puffman-Parker in the 5, Alex Teft must not have gotten a lap in. Kensley Smith, Joshua Neal, and Trevor Fettig all electing to not take a qualifying effort here, or at least make it through a qualifying effort, and they're going to start back there from P14 back to 18, rounding this field out here tonight.
Yeah, and it looks like to me, Russ, Eisburn is still setting on pit road, so he may have missed the grid up there. Not 100% sure. The lights is going to be out on the pace truck. That means we're going to be going green this time by. We're going to get this 80 lap next gen Thursday night race under green. Troy Thomas is going to bring him to the start line, Russ, and the green flag is out, and we are underway from Auto Club.
Zach got a good start there on that outside lane. Going to pull up about a quarter panel in front of Troy. They're going to go side by side into turn 1.
Very quickly, you can see that third lane coming into play up there with Curtis Ecker. Troy Thomas still trying to hold the bottom. He's not going to be able to get clear of Zach Lockett here. He's got Truth Hoke in tow. You got Lockett, Ecker. They're 2 by 2 by 2 through the field as they enter 3.
Yeah, it looked like somebody got a little loose on the exit of the 2 back there. Went down to that inside apron. Looks like he got it cleared up. Not quite sure who that was. I just happened to see a car shoot down to the left there, but some good action here early on in this race.
There is, and I believe that was going to be the 50 of Terry Fennell. But right now, we are still 2 by 2 for the front 2 rows. You have Thomas, Hoke inside, Lockett, Ecker outside, William Skinner just behind them. You have behind him Andrew Teft, Barry Nelson, Dennis Kane and company. Right now, the battle for the lead still rages on.
Yeah, this is one of them tracks where, the early, for position is going to benefit you the most. Because once these guys start to get separated out, then this is kind of fast if you kind of those tracks, but hopefully it's not going to be the case here. But it's like we'll get himself clear, Troy Thomas, and take up the spot and start trying to stretch this thing in.
I'm not sure what you said there. You got very robotic, and I have no idea what you said, but I'm pretty sure that it was talking about the 93 of Lockett moving himself to the front. Now we're starting to get single file. Again, this is one of those racetracks that you don't want to spend too much time running side by side and hurt these tires early. But I tell you what, though, Lockett is not pulling away from that 88. At least not right now. He's not. And I think that might be hard to do, Russ, with the way that these cars are going to draft around this facility here tonight.
Yeah, I mean, if you're able to hear me now.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, the biggest thing for Troy right now is just to kind of stay in the draft as Zach there out front. Because, once Zach starts to stretch this out, it can become one of those instances of where guys get spread out and it gets really, really hard to pass. I mean, Truth Hoke right now still trying to battle with Curtis Ecker there on the outside, trying to take over this P3 spot, but just not a lot of momentum because there's not much of a draft between these guys right now since they are starting to get themselves spaced out.
Yeah, Ecker made that move to the outside lane. He went to the third lane down in 1 and 2 that really set up that move on Hoke. Now you've got Skinner battling the 55 right there. You got 98 of Andrew Tefton, Toe, Barry Nelson, Kinsley Smith. But we can see a lot of the, I mean, you can see right there, Russ, they're just spread out using pretty much every lane that this racetrack has to offer.
Yeah, I mean, this is something I talked about there at the beginning of the broadcast was, you've got that arrow block, and we're going to see this probably all throughout the race of these guys running single file down the straightaways and then kind of spreading themselves out through this corner because, you get that arrow block and it can make the car very tight and kind of undrivable at points. So it's kind of like that, you want to be where they're not. So we're going to see that, these guys using all 4 or 5 lanes of this track all throughout the night. But right now, early on, it looks like the outside line is going to be kind of the preferred line. It seems like it's got a lot more speed than what that bottom side does right now. We've seen Curtis Ecker there in the 8 get by Truth. The 3 gave it a shot, but Truth able to get up in front of him. But right now, I mean, it just looks like there's so much speed on corner exit that top side is where you kind of want to be.
Yeah, and I think most of these drivers are going to want to run the bottom because, much like Auto Club, and we hear it about every time we come here, we want to run the bottom because it's more notorious for saving tire. But as the tires wear, these drivers do venture to the outside line to try to gain speed. And that seems to be where the speed is at right now. I mean, you can see Ecker out there, Skinner's out there, Barry Nelson, Wayne Scott. They're all out there. Kinsley just can't get the run to the back end of the 3 car. Hoke had a peek on Ecker, just no momentum off the corner at all, at least not on the low side right now.
Like I said, right now, it looks like all the momentum on corner exits up there on that high side. Get that strong run off the corner, and you're just able to clear that car on the bottom. I see Andrew Teff back here trying to make some moves. He tried to hold off the 28 there, Barry Nelson, but Barry went to that outside and just got right cleared by him. And now he's fighting back there trying to hold off this 10 car, Kirby Wainscott. Kirby going out there on that outside too, so Andrew kind of stuck down there in that second lane, and he's starting to lose a couple of positions here.
Yeah, and in fact, I'm showing Andrew to be back a position from at least his qualifying effort. And you can see right there, right? I mean, he gains through the entry in the center, just not able to gain anything on the exit. Kinsley Smith to the very top of the track there, trying to set up a run on the 3 car. And again, aero tight, right? We talked about this in the pre-race before we went green, is how aero tight and aero sensitive these cars get. And when you're trying to run the very top like that to set up a run, if you're in the wake of another car, much like Kinsley is right there, you're going to be super tight. You can see it right there. See that?
Pushed up about a half a lane right there because he got tight on that quarter exit because of the aero block kind of here from his team owner and that number 3 car.
Yeah, the old
it's kind of like you got Dale Senior and Mikey Waltrip running right there.
He's not going to get aero tight here because he got the wall a little bit there, but
the 3 car also held it to about that 4th lane too, so he wasn't right up there in that same lane as the 15, so he was able to get a little bit of clean air there, and it kind of helped him.
Yeah, and this is one of them situations to where you got to go where nobody else is, right? I mean, and
yep.
This is just one of those situations where you're just going to continue to get aero tight. I tell you, though, I've been watching Ecker though the last couple laps, and he's starting to put some heat on the back of this 88. But right now, I mean, we're seeing some pretty good racing all over the racetrack. I mean, we got battles pretty much everywhere, side by side.
I mean, at least through the corners, because like we said, you kind of want to run where they're not. So we're always going to see the different lanes coming into effect through the corners. But for the most part, down the back straightaway and through this front straightaway, you can kind of see them single file, but then they fan out going into the corners just to kind of get clear of that aero block.
You can see right here. I mean, there's battles all through the field, back pretty much all the way back.
You even got Ricky Bobby out there tonight in that 24 car.
Yeah, we do. Yeah.
Trying to do a little bit of shake and bake out there.
I love the old Talladega Nights movie. The big bold sticker on the windshield.
Yeah, I love fake Newtons, but this thing is just yeah, it's not safe.
It is not safe. It's not, dude. That's help my friend. The invisible fire is gonna burn my friend.
Put the fire out. Lord help me, Tom Cruise.
Yeah.
Now we see the 8 car getting clear of the 88. Now moving up to P2.
Yeah, and actually, Kinsley Smith has gotten around the 3 car. I'm not sure exactly when that happened, but Kinsley's. I tell you, the one thing about Kinsley right now, though, and I'm watching everybody else. Nobody is running as high as he is on both ends of the racetrack, right? He's in that almost, we call it the 5th lane, essentially. You can see he's right there above the seam, plumb against the wall. Little bit of a diamond exit there to carry off momentum, but there ain't nobody higher than he is right now. And I tell you, move him up inside the top 5, the P4. That 15 is on a run right now.
Yeah, I mean, he's definitely looking like one of the faster guys out there. Not sure on lap times how he's comparing, but right now I would assume by looking at him that he is going to probably be one of the fastest guys out there right now. He is charged past past that 3 car, past 55 with Truth Hope, and he's trying to run down this 88. You see him get down there in that draft, try to reel him in before the corner, try to make this move coming into turn 1 down here.
And in fact, the 15 of Kinsley Smith was the fastest car on the racetrack that last time by. And I say that, and that was by a 10th. So right now, the 15 is the quickest car on the racetrack. He's doing everything he needs to do. I can tell you the top 2, Lockett, Ecker, pretty much virtually matching lap times. But Kinsley Smith has found something on that 5th lane up there, and he's about a 10th quicker than the rest of the field right now.
Yeah, Kinsley is coming. He's got clear of the 88. Now he's going to start running down the 8 of Curtis Ecker. And I can see every lap is pretty much the exact same. It's like get clear of somebody, move down into the draft of the next car, get that run into the corner, get yourself up there to that very top lane, and you're going to carry that momentum off the corner. If you got to catch the draft again, you can, like he's going to do right here. You're going to catch that draft of the 8 again, going down the back straightaway. It's going to suck him closer to him going into 3. Might give him the run to get clear of him through 3 and 4 here.
Yeah, very well could. And in fact, the last 2 laps, the 15 of Kinsley Smith had laid down identical lap times. I mean, there was no difference between them. So matching lap times. But I can tell you, Ecker is a little bit faster than Lockett right now. Not by much, by about a half second. Actually, it's pretty close to a 10th. That lap is Ecker over top of Lockett. But I tell you, Kinsley Smith is still faster than the rest of the field by about a 10th. So we've got a battle with these front 3 cars, and it could be a pretty good show once this thing, plays out towards the latter part of the night.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I've been noticing that gap between Lockett and Ecker getting a little bit smaller every lap that goes by here. Kinsley looks like maybe starting to fade off in the bumper of that 8 car. Thought he was going to get there to him, but it looks like the 8 starting to kind of get into the draft of the 93 and try to pull away from the 55 here. And now the 8 right up on the bumper of the 93 here.
Yeah, I think that's been the problem, right? Is Kinsley just now he's going to close in here, right? The 8 got to the back bumper of the 93 of Lockett, got arrow tight. You can see it right there. Lockett's been, he was able to put about a car length and a half between them, and then that allowed the 15 to close right back up. So I think that's a momentum thing. That's an aero sensitive thing. Again, Kinsley to the very top toward the boards up there. I think we're going to see that kind of all night long.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's going to be the move, I think. Like I said, just kind of stay up there on that top side and, really just get that corner exit speed. It's going to help you run down them guys in front. But I mean, we're seeing, that last corner around. This is like all 3 of those drivers in 3 completely different lanes. Lockett down there about that 2nd lane, Ecker up there in about the 3rd to 4th lane, and then Kinsley Smith right there along the wall. That just tells me that, neither one of those 3 had any kind of aero blockage on them through that whole corner.
No, and the battle for the race lead is heated up, but this has allowed Troy Thomas to close in. But now Troy's been running the bottom down here, and he's actually, closed right back into the back bumper, near to the back bumper of the 15 of Kinsley Smith. So I think right now this is going to become an aero game. If you're Zach Lockett, you're going to want to try to move up to where these guys are and try to put as much air, dirty air on the front end of Ecker as you can. And then also too, I think this is also going to hurt Kinsley Smith a little bit because he's going to be in all that dirty air that comes from the 93 and the 8.
Yeah, especially when the 8 tries to make a move to put himself in a different lane than what the 93 is, try to make a move on him. Then that's going to give 2 lanes of aero block, and that'll hurt that 15 a lot more. Now we see the 8 starting to stretch out from the 15 falling back just a little bit again. But you can see Lockett now move all the way down to that bottom lane on that front stretch, trying to just throw the air all around as much as he can to try to slow Eckert down just a little bit. As now we are already 20 laps, a quarter of the way through this race, still green flag, and this top 4 battle is still not done.
Yeah, and in terms of lap times, I'll just put them out there. 40.08, 40.11, 40.12, 40.13. That's the top 4 cars.
Yeah, it makes sense. That's why they're all together, man, all within a little bit of each other.
And then you got William Skinner, Truth Oak right here battling. They've been going side by side for the last couple laps. Andrew Teft. I've watched Andrew for a couple laps just get to the quarter panel of Wayne Scott, but just not able to do anything with it. Alex Teft, he's working himself through here. He comes right here.
Mr. No Practice Teft out there still holding strong.
He is holding strong. He's figured it out. Puffenbarger, I wanted to touch on him real quick for just a moment. Currently up 5 spots. We know he didn't lay down a qualifying lap. He's currently up 5 spots. He's one of those drivers that we'll see kind of run the bottom, try to save tire, make a run, try to make a run late. But right now he's up 5, so net gain of 5. But once we get through green flag pit stops and whatnot, you can always expect to see this 5 car somewhere in around the top 5.
Yeah, I mean, we've said it before. Puffenbarger usually likes to not qualify. He likes to kind of stay in the back there, or start in the back and work his way through the field. And he's done it time and time again. So no surprise that he's trying to do it again here. But just like you were just touching on though, we hit these green flag pit stops. That may split this field up a little bit more and make this a little less exciting per se. This is just one of those tracks where that could happen. So these guys are going to have to hope that they can get on and off pit road kind of together, almost like a super speedway, so that they stay close to other guys.
Yeah, you're exactly right. I mean, you can lose so much time getting on off pit road. I've been keeping an eye on this battle. I mean, these 4 cars, you got Skinner, Hoke, Wayne Scott, and Teft all right here together. I keep watching these 4. They close up on each other within a half car length, and then they spread right back out. So I'll get back up in touch here. This battle's still raging on between Ecker and Lockett. I tell you, this is the type of run that we've come to start to expect out of Ecker, though, right? I mean, he had a battle with last season's champion in Christopher Pendell, and then looking at Ecker now, trying to really start to gain some momentum, and just a solid night going so far for the 8 car.
Yeah, we've seen. I don't remember what race it was right off the bat or I don't know if it was the beginning of this season or if it was the end of last season, where we kind of just felt like it was like his type of a track, and we just saw him progress as the race went on. He just worked his way a little bit closer and a little bit closer to the front, a little bit closer, and then by the end of it, he he worked his way to the front and picked up the win. I think it was towards the end of last season. I think that was the win that locked him into the playoffs. What was that win? And we're seeing it here again tonight. But now we're starting to see some green flag pit stops, which I think is right around the time frame of when I was told we were going to see him. So.
Yeah, so right now we have Kinsley Smith. He's the first one down with Dennis Kane. So we'll see when the rest of those cars come down. Now, I like that move out of Kinsley, right? You're pitting from the 3rd position, getting on off for pit road before these guys do. Because here's the thing, though. He's got to go 25-25. That's going to put him at 50. Then he's going to have to go 30 laps. So if these guys can run this thing out, because you can see right there, he goes a lap down. So if these guys can run this thing out a couple more laps, do that again the next run, they'll have no problem getting to the finish. But I tell you what, though, this has been a really, really good battle with Ecker. And you're right. Last year, if we go back to the end of last season, there was some not so good tension, like not so good feelings among some of the drivers that we read in Discord, if you remember, Russ, and amongst those was, kind of the center of the tension was the 8 car, and all that fused out, phased out, etc. And it's about time. Ecker, he's due a race win. Can it be tonight? It very well could. I mean, he's been on the back bumper of this 93, and we know how fast the 93's been this season in the 2 other races he's ran. But he's been right there on the back bumper of Lockett for the past, almost 10, 12 laps, whatever it's been. And this could be the night he gets it done, Russ.
Yeah, I mean, I probably said, I said last season that he was one of the more improved drivers, right along with Pendel there, our season champion. From last season, I mean, Curtis finished second in the points, I think second or third in the points last season. So, I mean, definitely improved enough to put himself into that position last season, and now he's bringing it right back here again this season, and showing himself having some strong runs this season. He's going to put himself right back in that same position. So now he's taken over this lead as now the leader of Zach Lockett coming down pit road. So Curtis put Curtis Ecker to the point, and I think he's going to be coming this time by.
Yeah, I think now you've got to come, right? Like if you're Ecker, you've got to come to pit road here. You don't want to give up too much time to Zach Lockett. So, that now's the time to come. Troy Thomas is going to elect to stay out. Joshua Neal did get caught speeding on pit road. He had a black flag, just to update for the race fans at home. So move Troy Thomas out front. So once all this shakes out, so one thing I want to see is there comes Lockett, right? And then here comes Kinsley. So Kinsley pitted about 2.5 or 3 laps sooner than what Lockett did, and you can see right there's the difference. So we'll see how all this shakes out. Ecker's now down pit road. There comes the 50th Terry Fennell. So we're in the green flag cycle, Russ, at lap 29, completing 29, working lap 30.
Yeah, once this thing cycles itself out, Kinsley should be your leader. It's going to it'd be interesting to see how far off, once this thing cycles out, how far back that's going to put Zach Lockett from him. We can see him back there just out of frame. And how long it'll take Lockett to run Kinsley back down if he does, with a couple lap fresher tires.
Yeah, and Ecker lost a ton of time. You could see right there it is. Timothy Eisburn also got caught speeding on pit road entry, so he'll have an extended 40-second stop on top of his regular pit stop there. Move Andrew Teft out front. Now you got Andrew Teft, Puffenbarger. These guys still haven't came down pit road. However, they're going to elect to run long here. This is going to be a 31, 32, 33 lap run. And then they're going to have 2 shorter stints. I kind of like this, right? Because then you're going to be able to short pit and not have to run ruts longer. At least not as long as the leaders, that's been out front.
Yeah, I think from what I was hearing pre-race, I believe that they were saying you could do 2 stops if you're able to save about 8 laps of fuel. So over the course of this race, if anybody out there is able to save 8 laps of fuel, they may be able to get this thing done in 2 stops. If not, there will be the need for a short pit somewhere in there. So it's going to be interesting to see how these pit stops and these different strategies are going to play out over the course of this race.
I can tell you nobody's going to make it because the rest of the field just come down pit road, and here that's all the remaining cars right there. So I don't foresee a 2 stop. I mean, them guys would have to go,
Well, they could if they went 30 right now, they could go 30 again to 60, and then on that second stop at 60, and then 20 laps to the end. So it's possible. Just say,
they can 2 stop it. Yeah, but they could definitely do that. Yeah.
Maybe it was a. Yeah, I'm trying to remember. I heard something about it was about saving 8 laps or something like that, but.
Well, they pretty much.
I think I was hearing. I think I was hearing about 25 to 26 laps on the fuel run. So, I mean, if you figure they come down, if it was 26 and they came down at 30, they saved 4 laps of fuel during that run. They saved 4 laps of fuel this run. It would put them that would be that 8 laps.
Yeah, they definitely can do it now, because then all they have to do is they just got to get to. Heck, they ain't even got to. I mean, they're going to get 20. They know they can get 25 laps, so they've only got to get to lap what? 55 from this point. So that'll be easy enough done.
Yeah.
Swap for the lead, though, moves Zach Lockett back out front. Now, we kind of knew this was going to be the battle. We kind of figured it was going to be Lockett, Kinsley, once the green flag pit stops played out. I tell you, though, Ecker lost a ton of time. You can see right here comes the 8 of Ecker. I'm not exactly sure. Yeah, I mean, he had 52 seconds he spent getting on off pit road. That includes his pit stop as well. So, and that's to the 48 second of Kirby Wainscott, and then the 49 second to Kinsley Smith. So
that almost tells me he slid through his pit box.
Probably so. That's easy enough done.
Yep. Yeah, I think that's what that time difference right there is telling me. It's about 3 or 4 seconds. That sounds like about a slide through a pit box.
We were 3 wide back here. I was trying to catch it real quick.
Yeah, I thought the 8 might have got the bumper of the 10 there for a second, but he was clear.
It's pretty good racing right here out of these 3. Ecker's been able to get around Wade Scott. Hoke's trying to get around the 10, but he's not going to be able to. Wayne Scott's going to have that draft off the 98, and you can see there comes Puffenbarger right there. So those 3 cars are going to be lined up. They're going to be trying to make that outside work on the outside of Hoke right there. As you can see, now we're 3 wide. That's a good run through the middle for Andrew Teff right there. Wayne Scott.
Yeah, so he had a great run. Yeah, he had a great run there on that entry to that center lane, and Truth going down there to the bottom. Now we see Puffenbarger throw it 3 wide bottom coming down the back straightaway going into turn 3. Puffenbarger trying to make that bottom work.
Yeah.
He's going to get clear of the 55 and make that pass.
He is, and he might get clear of the 10 here. That's just not quite, but Andrew's got a run on Ecker, and I can tell you these guys have about 3 to 4 fresher lap tires than what Ecker and Wayne Scott and these guys got. So I mean, Andrew Teff was last on pit road at lap 21. Ecker was last on pit road at lap 31. Sorry, Ecker on pit road at 28. So about 3 or 4 laps difference in tires right here, and Andrew Teff's going to be able to get it done. Let's check back out front. Kinsley's still working out outside. Lockett's not been able to drive away from him. That lead has been about 2/10, give or take. So
yeah, Kinsley just kind of staying right there in the drag. You can see Zach trying to break that draft. They're trying to pull that little snake maneuver coming down that front stretch, but Kinsley staying right with him, going to send that thing in high. I tell you, Zach's been running really, really well, running kind of that bottom. He's been able to keep the outside line clear, which something we haven't really seen too much of here so far today is somebody being able to make that bottom line work. And so far, Zach making that thing work through these corners, just running it down there about that second line, able to get the run off somehow, still some way.
Yeah, I can tell you the last 2 corners, the 15 of Kinsley Smith has caught the wall both times on entry. So in 1 and 2, he caught the wall right there. In 3 and 4, he just caught the wall. But I can tell you for sure, and I've been watching the lap times, Andrew Taft and these guys right here are catching Kinsley Smith and Zach Lockett. And the last time by, they were almost 3/10 quicker. So they need to kind of stay lined up, keep working together. They're about 2.5 seconds or so behind these 2 cars in front of them. So they need to continue to do what they was doing, work together, continue to draft off each other, and try to run them guys down.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we said it at the beginning that this kind of works as one of those drafting tracks, and that's what you got to do is you got to kind of work together to run that front pack down. I mean, Kinsley and Lockett out there, stretch that gap out. So these guys got a lot of running down to do.
Yeah, and just as that lead extends right back out, Kinsley's able to get it back within about a couple of tenths. In fact, he lost a little bit of time through center there. We'll call it 3/10. I think right now Kinsley just needs to be patient, right? He just needs to settle in, not overdrive the entry, get the car set, and then make speed just like he was in that first run.
Yeah, that's going to be the biggest thing. Just kind of settle yourself back into your groove and, try not to overdrive and, being, like I said, running up there on that top side. You don't want to you want to try to not overdrive this car and burn those tires up any more than you really need to. I mean, that top lane is fast. I don't really think you got to push it too awfully hard to be able to kind of just stick in the draft of the 93 there.
So that corner right there was a really good corner for the 15. That was a great corner, right? That's much like you said, didn't overdrive the car, didn't overdrive the entry, and had a really, really good run. I think the low side in 3 and 4 is the better line right now, but the outside in 1 and 2 is the better line. And when we talked about that in pre-race a little bit, Russ, I'd mentioned I feel like the outside line in 1 and 2 was going to be dominant. The low line in 3 and 4 I felt like was going to be, the lower to middle line in 3 and 4 I felt like was going to be decent. And so far, that's starting to come out to play here as we just passed halfway.
Yeah, 40 laps down, 40 to go here. Lockett and Kinsley Smith still battling out for this race lead.
Now,
I think you're right though. We've been watching Zach, and he's kind of been running that same line, and really on 4, he's been able to get that run up from the bottom to that outside, picking up just a little bit extra speed, able to manage that gap a little bit better through 3 and 4. But on that exit of 1 and 2, with Kinsley being up there on that top, and Zach not having kind of like that D shape, that triangle like coming out of 4, Kinsley's going to have a little bit more speed on that outside here. He should be able to run himself right back kind of closer to the bumper than 93 here.
Yeah, he does, right? I mean, and that's what we've been watching is, Kinsley's able to close right back up into the back bumper of the 93 from the outside. But the 93 right now is just able to, right there, center exit. You can see he puts about a car length 2 in between them, but then watch at the end of the straightaway here. That 15 is I mean, you can see it right there. I mean, he's right back there again. He just
now Clemson's going to send it low, try that bottom side, leave Zach up top.
Yep. Now here comes the cat and mouse game, right? So
yep.
And actually, that was pretty even for both of them, really.
Kinsley going right there back to the top. I mean, you can see. I think he tried to do what Zach was doing in 1 and 2, just to see if he could stay with him, a little bit more than what he has been. But Zach's still holding strong there, running that bottom lane through these corners.
So right now, the top 10, you got Zach Lockett, Kinsley Smith, Andrew Teft, Curtis Ecker, Puffenbarger, Wayne Scott, Hoke, Thomas, Alex Teft, William Skinner. That's going to be the top 10. Dennis Kane, Barry Nelson, Joshua Norton, Terry Fennell, Jesse Fox, Timothy Eisman, Joshua Neal, Trevor Fettig. That's going to round out the 18-car field. I can tell you, dude, 10th by 10th by 10th, lap after lap after lap, the 98 right now is the fastest car on the racetrack, and he's just inch by inch gaining on those guys in front of him. What was about 2.5 seconds is now down to about a 2-second gap. So just inch by inch, he's slowly starting to make progress.
Yeah, and we know it. This is one of those types of tracks that Andrew really enjoys running. He usually he's pretty strong at. Usually, always a threat to win it at these types of tracks. Auto Club Michigan, some of the cookie cutters, Charlotte, stuff like that. This is just one of those tracks that really just suits Andrew's driving style. So to see him having some speed here in the second half of this race is no real surprise to me. It's just going to be, is he going to be able to manage to run these guys back down before we get to that final round of pit stops?
Well, here's the thing. He can pit in 9 laps and get to the finish, right? I mean, he can pit at lap 55, get to the finish. I think Lockett can get to, so he's going to be pushing it, getting it to 55 if he only got 27 laps his first go. So he's going to be pushing it, getting to 55. He can get to 54, 55. I think, he'll probably be okay. The one car I'm worried about right now amongst all these leaders is the 15 of Kinsley Smith when we talk about fuel rust, because he was last on pit road at lap 24 coming to 25. And so, he's going to have to try to get, 5-6 extra laps out of this race car to be able to get to the finish, I think.
Yeah, first driver to come down pit road, coming down a lap or two early. Now we see him up there on the wall again. Making that earlier pit stop. Maybe trying that strategy of kind of a short pit early, long run later. We just have to see how it plays out. I mean, there's still plenty of strategy that could go into this race. I mean, we've got this one final pit stop. Anybody going to be brave and take 2 tires?
No, I think you got to take 4, right? I mean, you got to take a full tank of fuel. 2 tires ain't really going to help you.
Yeah, that's what I was hearing was the possibility of somebody maybe trying to take 2 tires coming into this race, if it comes down to having to be a short stint. Which this one here, I don't think will be a short stint to the finish. So I don't see it playing out. But I heard earlier before the race that there could have been a possibility if there had to have been like a short pit of going just 2 tire.
Yeah, I think we know 25 laps is about a fuel run, and I think, the only ones I would think would do it would probably be, Alex Teft, Andrew Teft. I think they could get to like 62, 65 area. In terms of fuel, if they wanted to elect to run long there and then take 2 tires, I think they could possibly do it, because then you've got less than a 20 lap run to the finish. I just think,
right. So you're not taking as much fuel as what other drivers are going to need to.
Yeah, I think they would be the only ones, right? Everybody else is lap 29 and under just about. So I don't know. We'll see what happens. Who knows? These drivers, man, they're all the time throwing stuff at us. I don't know.
Yeah, especially ones who are already locked into the playoffs. They got nothing to lose. They could try some, differing bold strategies as these races continue to progress leading up to the playoffs here. So, we're coming to 30 laps to go. So, the wire, the time is, or the laps are counting down, and this race is coming down to the wire.
Well, last week, that's one thing that Andrew Teft said was, he can be a little bit more risky, because he does have that race win and trying something different. And, you're absolutely right. And Teft is within about a second of the back bumper of Kinsley Smith. That race lead down to about a second and a half for Andrew Teft. So he's still clicking off lap times about a tenth quicker than the 2 cars in front of him. And so, if he's able to, before these guys pit, if he's able to get to the back bumper, this might play out in Andrew's favor here, but, we still have a long way to go. 2-mile racetrack, there's still a lot of time left.
Oh, absolutely. It's one of those things, like I said, like if he could get to the bumper of Kensley and lock it and put himself right there with them 3, then he could kind of play this last pit stop strategy according to what like those guys are doing. Like if they call out at this point that they're coming down, he might stay out like an extra lap, but if he's right there with them, come down with them, and then you're gonna exit. You're gonna come out of the pits and you're gonna be right there with them.
Yep.
And you're gonna that it's gonna be you 3.
Yeah, bring Wayne Scott down pit road. You're absolutely correct. Net gain of now 10 positions for the 5 of Brandon Puffenbarger. We're getting almost to our second green flag stop for us, and our man has found himself inside the top 5 running 5th currently. So
yeah, we know he just about every week he elects to start in the back of this thing, and he drives his way to the front. As now we see the 15 breaking off coming down pit road, but it kind of makes you wonder where Brandon would be if he actually would lay qualifying laps out.
Yeah, he just makes it interesting for us. There was one race that he qualified. Where was it? Last week he qualified, and he qualified inside the top 5. I think it was last week he did. So
yeah, I think so. Yeah.
So the lead
in hell for Watkins Glen, he started from the pits.
Yes.
And it almost played out in his favor. Right there until the very end when he had a little bit of a self-inflicted incident. But other than that strategy was going to pay off for him.
So Trevor Fettig has got caught speeding on pit road. So right there he finally comes. He's got the 15 of Kinsley Smith right behind him. Now, Kinsley's going to have to make this go about 27, 28 laps, is Kinsley Smith. Andrew Teft, I was going to mention, has the race lead down to under a second. Call it 8 tenths. Does Andrew Teft. So now the question becomes, when does the 93 come to pit road? Looks like he's coming this time, Russ.
Yeah, I think he's coming right now. Now the 98 is going to take over this lead, and he's going to lead another lap, and I wouldn't be surprised if I saw the 98 come in this time by.
Yeah, I think he's got to, right? I don't think you want to give up too much track time and lose too much track position to fresh tires, and I think comfortably the 98 can get to the finish here. We're working lap 55, coming to lap 56. So I think he could get to the finish. Ecker's on pit road, so you have Lockett, Ecker, Hope, Skinner has now came down, made their stops. Kinsley Smith has already been on off pit road. Now the question becomes, when does Teft, Puffenbarger, Thomas, when do these guys elect to come to pit road? And there comes the 98 right there. Yep. Puffenbarger electing to run long though, Russ. He's going to stay out another lap here. I think we'll see him next time, I think.
Yeah, I was going to say maybe hoping that a couple of lap fresher tires are going to help him in the long run in this final stint here, but I just don't know if there's going to be enough time.
I believe the 92 has caught another penalty. I think it's going to be too fast exiting. I'm still seeing a black flag for him. So he'll probably have to come back down, make a pass through. Will the 92 Timothy Eisbrun. So, yeah, Andrew Teft on pit road. Now, Kinsley Smith has come back out in front of Lockett. Now, there's not as much difference in tires between these two this time, Russ. Kinsley was able to stay right there with the 93, but I think right now we've just hit 25, 24 to go. I think this is going to be tight on fuel for the 15. There comes Andrew Teft, right? So now here's your battle. How much time does Teft lose here? Puffenbarger on pit road. Did I lose you?
No, I'm still here. I'm sorry. I apologize. I'm trying to listen to some radio chatter as far as this black flag goes.
Oh, okay. I'm guessing it was too fast exiting for the 92. I'm not sure.
Well, I think race control came over and said it was something about the entry, but it didn't hold him or something, and then it maintained the black flag. I'm not really sure. I wasn't able to hear it too well.
Oh, 10-4.
But either way, we see the 5 car coming back out here. Going to recycle himself back out. And now the 93 and the 15 going side by side here into 3 for this lead here.
Yeah, and there's only about 2 laps. Let's see. Yeah, 2 laps difference in tires. So, and I think what Kinsley's doing here is he's going to have to get in behind the 93 and he's going to have to draft and save a couple laps. I think that's going to be the goal. Ecker has gotten around Andrew Teft. Now, what was, call it, it was under a second, right? I mean, it was 8/10. That has been pretty much null and void. I think this is going to be about a 2-second play out. Once Troy Thomas, Alex Teft, and Terry Fennell hit pit road, the race lead will turn back over to Zach Lockett, Kinsley Smith, and then Ecker. He's just found himself back in 3rd place again. So, 22 laps to go, Russ. This thing's starting to shake out.
Oh, yeah. I mean, this is about where we're going to start to see what these guys got coming to the finish here. I mean, you see, I'm watching Puffenbarger. He's starting to work his way past the 43 of Alex Teft. Going to get his lap back the old-fashioned way there. So now he's working down the back bumper of the 55 of Truth Hoke. So 5 showing a lot of speed here.
And in fact, there Eisbrun is back on pit road. So he must have had to serve that penalty. But yeah, the 43 is still staying out here, and these guys are starting to unlap themselves. You can see just ahead the 98 Andrew Teft looking to get around Curtis Ecker here. He sent it down there. I don't think he's going to be able to clear. He might.
I'm going to be able to quite clear him, I don't think. If he does, he's going to self-clear him. He's going to self-clear. Whoa, that was close. I don't think he self-cleared himself as much as Ecker came down to stake in the draft of that 98, but right. That was awfully close.
yeah, that was wild. So I'm trying to look. It looks like that Kinsley's going to be about 2 seconds in front of Andrew Teft. So he's going to have to do all that work right back over again. Is Andrew Teft to run down Kinsley Smith and Zach Lockett. So again, once these guys. And you can see here comes Lockett, here comes Smith, and Alex Teft still staying out. Alex, I think, is just praying for a caution, and I don't know that we're going to get it.
Yeah, I mean, we're 3/4 of the way through this race now, and we haven't even seen a flicker of a yellow. So I don't expect that we're going to see one, but he's going to have to bring that thing in here fairly soon, I would assume. But I mean, you look at how much longer he's able to go right now. He's going to have a decent amount of lap fresher tires than what everybody else is. So I'm not sure if he's going to have the time, but he's going to be going to be quite a bit faster than everybody else who's already been down pit road. As a matter of fact, I believe the 43 is coming this time.
So with the 43 coming this time, you're right. He is going to have a substantial advantage as long as he don't miss pit road. There he goes. He woes it down. Make sure you don't get caught speeding on pit road here. He's going to have, an advantage when it comes to tires. So the race lead's going to come back over to Zach Lockett. He's going to have about a almost 0.5 of a second lead over Kinsley Smith. And then you've got Andrew Teft and Curtis Ecker running running bumper to bumper there. Puffenbarger trying to
something I just thought about in the position that Alex Teft was in. That could have been a call for a 2-tire strategy because he still had a whole lap up on the entire field. He's not going to go with 2-tire, but
yeah, he did.
Oh yes, he is only going 2-tire. I was going to say that might have been the position for him to make a 2-tire call. Not sure how it's going to play out. We're showing Zach Lockett as being the leader. It looked like Alex had an entire lap up on the field still, and I didn't think the leader got by him. But
they got back by. So I don't know how well this is going to work out, but I think.
Well, I mean, as far as because you're only going to go by one time in the time of a pit stop.
Yeah.
So, like I said, my running order, it showed Alex still up an entire lap over Zach Lockett, Kinsley Smith, but we're showing that Zach has gotten by the 43 for the lead here. So,
yeah,
not sure what happened.
I think they unlapped themselves and was running in front of him, and when he come back down, that's when because they were running.
Could have been.
Yeah, I think that's what happened. At least from
because that was kind of the. I was gonna say because that was kind of the reason that I was gonna go with of the whole 2-tire deal was, if Alex still had an entire lap up on the field, he could come down, take 2 tires and enough fuel to get to the end of this thing and still get out.
Should have been
should have been able to get back out as the leader, and still had a substantial gap on the rest of the field. But something just did not work out the way that I thought it was going to.
Sorry, I was eating a piece of ice.
I was gonna say because right now I'm showing Alex is back in P9. So
P9, yeah, it's the same thing I got.
Yeah, something.
I think these guys
in my brain just did not work the way I thought it was going to.
Yeah, I mean, you're right. Had he stayed, in front of them guys, that would have been the perfect time to call the 2-tire. I think he would have needed to come down a couple laps sooner while these guys were still trapped a lap down to have nailed that. Because when I look at it now, he was still a 52 second. He was still on pit road 52 seconds. So right now,
maybe he slipped through his box.
He could have, and then adjusted to the two tire.
Yeah. Yep.
So right now, Zach Lockett back out front, 15 laps to go, carries about almost a 7/10 lead over Kinsley Smith. I think Kinsley's trying to save a little bit of fuel here. I think he's going to be tight trying to get to the finish. Andrew Teft, though, is starting to run down these guys little by little. Again, we've seen him do this, the second run we had tonight. He's got Ecker in tow, Puffenbarger, Hoke right behind him, Wayne Scott Thomas, Alex Teft, that's the top 10. I just don't think that Andrew and company's got enough time to run these guys down.
Yeah, I don't think so either. I think, what do we got? 13 laps left here. I think Zach and Kensley kind of, he might get to Kensley if Kensley's saving, but I don't think Zach has the need to really save, so it might be tough for him to get to that 93 car.
Well, right now he's a 1/10 of a lap faster, which means he would need 10 laps to be a full second quicker, right? So, let's see.
Saying he's about 1.7, 1.8 seconds behind our leader.
Yeah, I just don't think he has enough time. I don't
think he's got enough time. I mean, unless something really, really strange happens, and I'm not going to say what that strange thing would be.
Yeah, I mean, here's the thing: it's not a fuel thing, right? I mean, if that was to happen, everybody's coming back down pit road. So, I'm
talking about a flag of a certain color that we haven't seen yet tonight.
Yeah, I am too. That's what I'm saying. I mean, that's not one of those deals. I think is, I mean, you know, that's the part of the racing, right? I mean,
yeah,
if it was in the middle of a, you know, strategy deal, then I get it. But I mean, we're not really there, right? I mean, the 93, we don't get to the finish. Steph, we know can for sure could get to the finish. Kinsley short pitted the first time, ran a little longer the second time. I think he's somewhat close on fuel. I mean, everybody's going to come if that happens. So,
yeah, absolutely. Yep. As if we get one of those, I mean, yeah, then it's going to be a knockout, drag out fight to the finish on fresh tires and enough fuel to make it.
Elbows up, baby, elbows up.
Elbows up.
Gotta get them elbows up. See if I can find any other battles. I mean, we're just so spread out right now. It's just hard to find any.
Yeah, it's said that, you know, unfortunately, one of the things that happens at tracks like Auto Club here, you know, get these green flag runs, those green flag pit stops to really break this field up and you know, not make it as quite as exciting as it was at the beginning of the race with all those side by side battles.
Yeah, I'm thinking Kinsley saving because right now he's a little over, I'll call it 9/10 to race leader Zach Lockett, but Andrew Teft has caught nearly. I mean, he's only about 8/10 off, so the same distance between him and the 15 is the 15 to the 93. So 10 laps to go. I don't think Andrew's got enough time, but I think he might get to the 15 here.
Yeah, that's what I was just going to say. I mean, you figure, you know, we're 9 laps coming to 8 laps to go here. Andrew's about 6/10 off of Kinsley Smith right now, so call it a 10th a lap. Should get second, you know, probably about 7 of these laps if that you know, if that time stays steady. But right now, holding back there still about 7/10 from the 15 there.
It was a half a tenth the last time by. It was a 40-20 to a 40-15. It was a half a tenth. And he's only a half tenth faster than Zach Lockett right now, is Andrew Teft. So he might not. He might not get to the 15 even.
Yeah, I say he's cutting it here about down. Got it down to
let me see what
about a half a second now.
Yeah, let me see what the lap time is this time. Well, that time he was much faster. That was a 40-37 to a 40-14. Race leader Lockett ran a 40-25. So that time he was a tenth quicker than Lockett, but about a tenth and a half quicker than Kinsley Smith. So
yeah, I'm seeing the distance shrinking here. Gap now about 3/10. Going to send it in here into 3. Try to get that run up off that corner. Try to put himself right on the back bumper of the 15. Once he gets up in that draft, we're going to see the 15 shoot down. I knew he was going to do that, shoot down to the bottom and try to break that draft. He does not want that 98 getting to his bumper right now.
Yeah, they're kind of almost running what I would call in the dirt world the old slider line is Andrew Teft. I mean, he's shooting that thing to the bottom and just kind of sliding it to the top, trying to carry momentum. But he's got to. He's there, right there. He's there. He's
got
the corner.
Yep. We're going to see this pass getting made here. If not this corner, the next one. He is definitely right there in that draft. He's going to sling down there to the bottom.
Let's see if he's able to clear it here. He's not going to clear him. Yeah, he is.
It's tight. He thought about it. But he didn't take it. 15 hanging strong on the outside.
Now he's got to side draft him and try to pull that car back to him. Does Andrew Teft? Now he's got to make the pass here. You don't want to let the 93 drive off too much. I mean, with 6 laps to go, so there's the pass. And now what's the gap? 1.5 almost. Yeah, I don't think he's got the time. But
I think just in that little battle, I think Zach pulled out about another half a second because I think that gap was about a second. Now it's about 1.5, 1.6. So I think just in that little bit of a battle between the 98 and the 15, Zach was able to gain another about a half a second off of him.
So the 15, this helps the 15 though, right? This is a solid turnaround he needed. The last couple of weeks has been a struggle for the 15. I think if he can stay right here with the 98, Ecker, I mean, when I look at the lap times, Ecker was about 0.2 faster that last time by than he was Kinsley Smith. But, you know, I think also, too, if he's able to kind of stay in the draft of Andrew Teft does Kinsley Smith. I think he might be able to hold on to a podium here, but we'll have to see.
I was gonna say he's got to keep that 15 out of the wall.
Right, that's a big thing.
he keeps putting that thing up there into that wall. It's going to scrub a little bit of speed in that before he knows it. Ecker's going to be right on his back door.
It's strange how this race kind of flopped and went to the bottom. I like a lot of these guys went to the bottom. Now you can see Andrew Teft for the first time pretty much all night that we've seen him run the top.
Yeah, trying to run that little bit of a defensive line, try to throw a little arrow block on the 15 right there, it looks like. So see the 8 trying to reel that 15 in, try to steal a podium finish.
He's trying. He's trying. Four laps to go. We'll see if he's able to get it done. I just don't know if the time's going to be there.
The thing of it is if Ecker can get to the 15 and the 15 can stay with that 98, it's going to give Ecker a shot at possibly 2 more positions.
It could.
If he can get there.
Yeah, the 15 found the wall on entry again and lost quite a bit of time there. So I think he's done everything he can behind the wheel of that race car. There comes Ecker to the bottom, though.
Yeah, I was saying, the 8 car coming to the bottom. You're going to start trying to work Kensley over here with 2 to go.
The 2 laps to go. We've got the battle for the podium position right here. No change out front. Lockett has been the man, just like he's been just from the start of this thing since he's taken over the lead. Andrew Teft just some distance behind him. Ecker, is he going to be able to clear him here? He is.
I think he'll be able to. I was saying, if he didn't clear him down the stretch here, he'll get him in the next corner. So move the 8 up to P3. Going to steal a podium away potentially here. Coming to the white flag.
Yeah, we're coming to the white flag. It's going to be 1 lap to go, Russ. And I tell you, another dominating performance out of this 93. We talked about it in pre-race, how he's just showing to be in playoff form, in championship form. Does the 93. And again, looking to make it what's going to be 3 for 3 for him this season.
Yeah, I mean, I said it before. He's put a lot of time into the sim and just gotten better over time. And, I was talking to him earlier tonight, and, I talked to him quite a bit. And, it's all about the bonus points for him at this point, coming out and snagging these wins and getting those bonus points for the playoffs, put himself in a prime position when those playoffs start. And looking like he's going to do it again here tonight as he comes out of turn 4. And Zach the Rocket Lockett going to pick up the win here at Auto Club.
Yeah, there's your third win of the season. Goes to Zach Lockett. Andrew Teft's going to bring it home second. Curtis Ecker third. Kinsley Smith. He's going to have a solid night, right? Net 12 positions. Didn't qualify. Elected to come from the rear, and he's going to bring it home in 4th. Puffenbarger is going to bring it home 5th. That's going to be the top 5. But yeah, I mean, just what a great job for Zach Lockett here. Making it now 3 for 3. You can see the fireworks in the background there. Just an amazing scene here at the Auto Club Speedway, but now makes it 3 for 3. And I can tell you, if I'm one of these drivers, in the field, I'm beginning to start to scratch my head on what I got to do to be somewhat faster than the 93, because right now it's just been nothing shy of dominant since he's been on the racetrack.
Yeah, I mean, he's won the last 3 races that he's attended. He would have been 4 for 4. Kind of got an untimely caution in that very first race of the season. It kind of really hurt him, and he just dominating that whole day too. So I mean, very possible that we're 6 races in and he's been here for 4 of them, that he could have been 4 for 4.
4 for 4, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, so yeah, like you said, these guys are going to have to start looking at Zach as being, the guy that they're going to have to really battle and try to figure out how to keep up with once this, the playoffs start.
Yeah, I mean, right now, I mean, because we're only a couple races before we head into the playoffs, right? I mean, we have a race next week, and then we'll be off for 2 weeks, and then we have one more race coming back from the Christmas New Year's break. We'll have one more regular season race, and the playoffs start. So really, we've only got 2 races that's going to get us, into the regular season. And I tell you right now, he's the odds-on favorite. He's just got to be, right? I mean, he's won the last 3 that he's been in. Anything can happen when it comes to playoffs. I'm just saying right now, the odds-on favorite.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, especially when you take a look at the playoffs, or the tracks that we're going to be going to in the playoffs. We've got New Hampshire, Kansas, Talladega, and Charlotte. And I know for sure at least 2 out of those 4 races are tracks that Zach is really good at in Kansas and Charlotte. Talladega,
that's just gonna be a wild card.
That's the wild card race. New Hampshire might be the only kind of iffy one. I mean, I'm maybe seeing somebody like a Truth Hoke or maybe an Andrew Teft being the strong car that day, if not Zach. But I mean, definitely you're going to have to watch out for Zach come Kansas and Charlotte, because I mean, when it comes to the 1.5-mile, 2-mile tracks like Kansas and Charlotte, those are the ones that he excels in. So
well, those 2 races, right? I mean, you talk about New Hampshire and Dega. That's the importance of having the bonus points, in the regular season. So
absolutely, yep.
Let's see, Curtis. It's Brandon and Russ up in the booth. You got a copy?
I got you.
Well, man, listen. Congratulations, P3. You started up front there. You had a solid night. Kind of fell outside the top 3 there for a small portion of the race, but then found some momentum late there to get around Kinsley Smith in that 15 and bring this thing home third.
Yeah, it was an excellent race out there. Had a fantastic car. I really wish I wouldn't have rolled through my pit box a little bit that first cycle and could have stayed with Zach a little closer.
That's a good call. Russ actually nailed that one. We thought maybe you kind of slid the box a little bit. So we was watching the times and was like, man, Curtis lost quite a bit of time, in that stop. And Russ said he might have slid the box. So I'm glad to know that we kind of got that thought right. Yeah, but just take us through the night, right? Because we kind of thought that maybe the high side in 1 and 2 would have been the dominant side. And then, the lower middle side through 3 and 4 felt like it had speed. Just take us through the night, and the third place run. And then, looking at next week, just take us through, the run as a whole.
Yeah, for me, I was really good that first run. Like, I think I definitely could have gave her the 93 run for its money. But the second run, it kind of changed a little bit. I didn't quite like how my car handled at first. I was kind of moving between the top and bottom, trying to figure out what was going on. But that third run, it definitely started to come to life again.
So where are we at next week? Oh, I can't remember all this. Pocono. We got Pocono next week, and we know we seen the battles last year with Pocono, right? We talked a little bit about some of that. What's the thoughts going into Pocono? We know you had a solid run. You was racing for a championship last year against Pendel. What's the thoughts going into Pocono? And then we're going to be off for a couple weeks, get a little bit of a reset, but the thoughts going into Pocono.
Pocono. I mean, it's my hometown track. I love to run there. I'd definitely love to get my first win there, but it hasn't come yet.
Man, I tell you, you're close. You're just knocking on the door. Just gotta have, that little bit of extra, but you're there and you're doing everything you got to do.
I appreciate it.
Listen, man, you got anybody you want to thank? Anybody you want to shout out? As you start to prepare for your hometown race next week.
Of course, my family, my sponsors, Family Traditions RV Rentals, like I said, my family, you guys with an amazing broadcast, and everybody who makes this awesome show possible.
And we appreciate you. And again, congratulations on that third place finish. And I suspect that we're going to see you up front again next week, huh?
I hope.
Fair enough, man. We'll see you next week when we roll into Pocono.
All right, sounds good.
Thank you, Bub. I tell you, man, he's knocking on the door, Russ. I mean, he just keeps knocking. At some point in time, I got a feeling Curtis Ecker is going to step through and he's going to grab that elusive first win in his Racers Elite career.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, he had I remember a couple seasons ago there, when he was running in the Truck Series, he picked up that first win there in the truck series, and that win is kind of a momentum booster, you know, and just kind of ever since he's improved and gotten better, and I definitely think he's knocking on that door, and we'll probably see him there pretty soon.
Well, let's see. There's Andrew. Let's get Andrew in here. Andrew, it's Brandon and Russ up in the booth. You got a copy?
Yeah, I got you.
Well, you pulled the typical Andrew Teft, and you came to one of these 2 mile tracks, and you kind of held it to the middle of the field for the most part of the race, and then made that charge at the end just like you always do, man, and ended up bringing it home P2 tonight. So just take us back through your race and tell us kind of what your strategy was coming into the night.
Yeah, I think I might have stayed out a little bit too long on pit strategy. The first run I went a couple laps longer, and it felt like it paid off at the end of the next run, having the fresher tires. I was kind of chasing those guys down, and thought maybe 2 laps was too far to stay out. Maybe 1 would be better, so I stayed out 1 lap longer than Zach second time, and just wasn't better enough to catch him there. The dirty air was kind of a struggle tonight, and just kind of spent some time trying to make passes, and probably should have qualified a little bit better too. Would help.
Yeah, I mean, we were kind of talking about that in the pre-race. You know, this is kind of like that one of the few tracks where the aero block really is more prominent than where it is at other tracks. And you know, and I had said that, you know, wouldn't be surprised to see guys using, you know, 4, maybe even all 5 of the lanes here at Auto Club, just to try to keep that clean air on the nose. How big of a, you know, like, difference maker was that aero block tonight?
Just like you see in real life. I mean, I've never driven a real NASCAR, but yeah, the second somebody gets in front of you, if you're in the middle of the corner, the car just skates toward the wall pretty much immediately. So luckily, you could run all over the track from the bottom all the way to the wall. So I was just having to go wherever the guy in front of me was not, so I could actually turn the car.
Yeah, that was exactly what I said. It's kind of like one of them tracks where you got to be where others aren't in these corners. And I mean, you know, with tracks like this here, you know, we're kind of used to seeing you up front, and you're up front again here tonight and bringing it home P2. And I guess we'll go ahead and turn it over to you and let you give your shout outs and thanks.
Yeah, thank you to you guys for helping out in the booth, and I want to congratulate Zach. You were in a perfect race there. Want to thank our servicemen and women, everybody tunes in to watch, shows up to race, friends, family, team. I want to thank Kensley for doing my paints. You can find his info. It's KS Designs right on our website homepage. And if you're interested in checking us out, I can't talk today. Checking us out. RacersElite.com. You can find all of our info there.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Race is at least the place to be, and you know, right now they got a big race coming up on Saturday, a big money race. Andrew, you want to shout that race there out?
Yeah, we still got some spots left for that too. You can also find all the info for that right on the website. There's a page called Frostbite 500. This Saturday is going to be a full day of racing. So we've got a couple of
full day indeed.
Yes, a
full day indeed.
Yeah, it's a couple of heats, the last chance qualifier, and then we're going to actually run the feature the same night. So the heats are at 3 and 4:30 Eastern, and then the last chance qualifier is at 6. And then the big show is at 8, and 80 guys are going to enter. 40 of them are going to make the big show, the feature. Got some pretty big prizes on the line too. Talking like $500 to the winner, and top 3 receive payouts plus a random draw kind of prize. So just check us out. You can find all the info there. It's kind of a lot to summarize.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I mean, I'll be in the booth for some of that, and I'm looking forward to watching that event, and hope we can get the last few spots that are vacant filled here. So, well, Andrew, again, congrats on the P2, and we'll. I know we'll probably be talking to you again next week because we're heading to Pocono, and I know that's one of the tracks that you usually run pretty well at. So we'll be talking to you again next week.
Thanks, fellas.
Have a good one.
I tell you, a rough start to the season, a little bit of a rough start to the season, but then he's just clicked and he's caught some momentum. I think he ran second last week. He sits atop the current points lead. in the series, another second again tonight, just doing everything he needs to do. But again, we talk about how important, bonus points are to us, and he's got to find a way to get past that 93, I think.
Yeah, I mean, right now, all he can kind of do is just keep putting together the finishes, that he's been putting together here the last few weeks, and keep himself on top of that leaderboard moving to the playoffs. But if any extra bonus points that he could find between now and in the playoffs here in a couple of weeks, definitely going to benefit him.
We're going to see if I can get race winners. Zach Lockett in here. Zach, it's Brandon and the rest of the booth. You got a copy?
Hey, got a copy.
Well, that's good. Listen, so how do we go about finding new things to talk about? This is the third week in a row we've done this, and I think we're eventually going to run out of things to talk about.
I mean, it was a good race. I mean, I think Curtis really gave me a run for my money there in the first stage. So that was I don't know. I think if he didn't mess up his pit stop, he definitely might have been able to get me. So got to give a shout out to him first off.
Yeah, I think me and Russ kind of we watched that little bit of the battle that you had with Ecker there, but then that second run, Kinsley, he short pitted that first stop, man, then was able to kind of stay right there with you for throughout that duration of that little bit of that second run. He kind of stayed 2-3 tenths off of you, but overall, it just seemed like the dirty air, you was just able to pack it wherever you needed to pack it, and that's the way it looked like throughout the field. Even just the dirty air just seems so rough on trailing cars. So yeah, once you drove away, you were gone, right? I think he is second and a half, almost. Yeah, just a little over a second and a half. So yeah, I mean, not quite as easy as the previous two race wins, but still, man, another great performance.
Yeah, no, these are never easy, and I knew it wasn't going to be easy here tonight. I mean, Auto Club, great track, a lot of draft help, especially at night. I mean, the track was under 70 degrees, so I saw the draft come into play a lot. I mean, like you said, Kensley and Curtis and all those guys were both nailing the top of every turn, and I think that second run there, Kensley, he short pitted it by a couple laps, and then he ran the top the entire time, and I'm just kind of waiting for him to fall off because I was trying to stay committed to the bottom, saving a little bit of tire. That's kind of usually how it goes at Auto Club. You stick to the bottom, save a little bit of tire, and then I usually migrate to the top and start, like you said, aero blocking and just kind of packing dirty air where you have to. But yeah, he didn't fall off. So at that point, I'm like, okay, he's still here right behind me. I could never get more than a half a second really in front of him. And I thought for sure he was going to go short pit, take two tires. And then I just, might have not been able to catch up to him. I've lost many races with, nighttime and cool tracks and people taking two. So once I saw him take four, I waited a couple of laps and then was lucky enough to come out on that last green flag stop and be right up behind him, and then just kind of waited and made the pass, and that was that. But yeah, definitely thought two tires were going to be able to maybe beat me tonight, but I was committed to taking four. I was driving all the tread off of them, so had to go take four.
So that's now
go
ahead. Sorry.
I was just gonna say, we thought that might have been the case with Alex there on that last stop that he had made, because when he came in, it showed that he still had an entire lap up on you guys, but not sure if he made a small mistake on pit road. But when we panned to him, we seen him only take two tires, and I'm like, yep, he's making that call. This is that time where he can let these guys have their laps back, but make that two tire pit call and still get out in front of them. But then once he came out, he was still back in like ninth, and we couldn't figure out what had happened. But I thought maybe that was the call that was going to be made by Alex there to maybe steal this one away, but just didn't work out that way.
Yeah, for sure. I thought someone would take two. I know Alex does that a lot. Alex steals a lot of wins that way, which is a great strategy. But yeah, I was pretty surprised no one did. So once I came back out, like I said, Kensley was there kind of sitting in front of me, and knew just had to wait a couple laps and try to make a pass. But yeah, I mean, again, shout out to the league for no cautions. I mean, this is how racing is done here. No cautions, no stages, no breaks at all, just strategy, green flag stops. I think a lot of underrated part of racing is nailing those green flag stops. Like we talked about, Curtis was super fast on that first run. I don't know exactly what happened on pit road. I think he overshot his box, but after that, it's hard to make up for. You don't get a redo here all the time because there's no stages and not a lot of caution. So that's I really appreciate that about this league.
Yeah, and that was one of the things that we actually saw tonight was a lot more pit road speeding penalties really out of some of the drivers than what you would kind of expect to see here at Auto Club with as much, really with as much room as you have to get onto pit road here. It was kind of really surprising to see. I think we've seen about probably 4 or 5 pit road black flags for speeding. But yeah, I mean, Curtis overshot his pit box a little bit on that first one, and it cost him about 4 seconds. I mean, we were looking at like your pit time and Kensley's pit time compared to his, and and he said in his interview that he overshot that pit box on that first stop, and there was about a 4 second gap or a 4 second difference between you and Kensley's pit stop and his. So I think he definitely would have maintained if he hadn't have done that, but. I mean,
he was rolling the center really well. I was asking, like, you downshifting? Were you like, what happened? My dirty air was not affecting you, so I don't know. He had a lot of speed. I'm sure he'll have a lot of speed next week at Pocono too. So
he said he's definitely looking forward to getting there. That's his home track. So how are you feeling about going into next week here at Pocono?
Yeah, love Pocono. I think last couple seasons ago over the summer, I came in this league and won there. Another track like this is just kind of, do whatever you can to get track position and use the dirty air to your advantage and, stay in the draft. It's going to be close racing again, like tonight. And I look forward to it. My wife is from about 15 minutes from the track, and we're headed up there for the holidays in a couple of weeks. So her home track, almost my home track from upstate New York. I'm a little closer to there than Watkins Glen. So Pocono means a lot to me. So looking forward to that.
Well, congrats again on another win here. You're 3 for the last 3 that you've been a part of. So, Brandon, you got anything else for Zach here before we turn it over to him?
No.
All right, man. Well, like I said, 3 out of the last 3 that since you've shown up, and going to be a threat for it again next week at Pocono, I'm sure. So, we'll go ahead and turn it over to you, man. Let you give your shout outs again.
Yeah, shout out to Andrew and everyone who puts this on. Chantel and Race Control, really appreciate everyone. You guys broadcasting. Going to go back and listen to this. Lay in bed and listen to this right now. So excited to hear that. And got to give a shout out to everyone at Adrenaline, Russ, you as well, of course, and John, Nate, everyone who races with us over there. Really appreciate them. Goat Racing Diecast, of course, and Dalton DC Designs here painting this beautiful USA themed Adrenaline racing car here. Usually I use it at Charlotte or on July 4th or around those times, but I thought it'd look pretty under the lights tonight. So glad to run it tonight. And shout out to my wife as well. Thank her for letting me race multiple nights a week. I know she's listening, so I really appreciate her. And we're gonna go on to next week. I turned 30 on Monday, so this is my last race in my 20s. So good way to go out.
There you go, man. Well, enjoy your birthday and enjoy, the turning another decade there. It don't get easier as you keep going. So I'm just letting you know that now. So, but again, yeah, absolutely. All right, man. Well, congrats on another dominating win, and hopefully we'll get a chance to talk to you again next week when we get done here at Pocono.
Yeah, sounds good, man. Thank you, guys.
Thanks, brother.
Yeah, and just another great run for Zach Lockett. He's ran 4 races here. He's won 3 of the 4, 3 of the last that we've ran. In Racers Elite, and I think right now when we said this earlier, when you think about heading into playoffs, I mean, this is going to be a driver you got to keep your eyes on.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, he just steamrolling. I mean, the last 3 races he's been a part of, it's just kind of been, a steamroll. I mean, these guys are going to have to try to figure something out here, and be able to try to make some ground on him, because once these playoffs do start, he is going to be the threat, I think, to win the championship. So.
And he's proven that out of the gate. And next week, we're going to be rolling in to the tricky triangle. We're not going to have 4 corners. We're only going to have 3. Again, if you're interested in joining Racers Elite, go check us out, racerselite.com. If you've not subscribed to the Racers Elite Network, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. It costs nothing, absolutely free, and make sure to turn on the notifications for all the things that we have going on here at Racers Elite. Russ, we have one more week, but then we're taking Christmas break, and then we get to do it all over again. And next week, the Tricky Triangle. I think that's going to be a fun one, man. We've seen some heated people coming out of Pocono last season, and we know it was a great race. It was a great place to hold a championship race, was Pocono, and I think that we could have all that fun and excitement again rolling into next week.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's one of those tracks that could bring out the best or could bring out the worst in somebody, and we saw that last season, and I'm sure we'll have just as much fun there next week when we go back to Pocono. So make sure everybody out there tunes in. Come back here again next Thursday night and watch us go live from Pocono Raceway. And until then, we'll see everybody next week. Thanks.